Okay, episode 9 here, Nerds with Grit podcast. It's been a little go at it here. We're back to our pizza and wings. Got my main man Josh to my left, Aaron to my left. Interesting jersey choice. The Stockton Heat, Josh. I appreciate that. In white as well too. That's a big juicy logo as well too.
It's a nice one.
Good thing, no wonder you got no sauce on your wings. I want to drip on that white jersey. And Aaron's got like a Detroit Red Wings. I love the wheel and the spokes with the wing, but it looks like it just came out of your hockey bag.
Out of my hockey bag?
Yes. Yeah, it looks like something like that Gordie Howe wore back in the day. It's got some tinge to it. And you get I just noticed now you got the Detroit Red Wings hat.
I've worn this setup for my dad's birthday to have him dream of me being drafted.
Is it his birthday today?
No, it's not his birthday today. I'm just saying I've done it before where I've worn this with like dress pants and
like pretending you got drafted.
Yeah, and he was happy. I wouldn't actually get him anything.
Is he he's a Flame? I mean the Flames. He's a Detroit fan?
Yeah.
Really? Who's his favorite player?
It would be Howe.
Wow.
Yeah, it would be Gordie Howe.
Don't date your dad too much with his age.
His favorite team is the Canucks, but I beat him up for him being a Red Wings fan.
Like he grew up a Red Wings fan?
Until the Canucks came along, yeah. Because 57, that's his birth year. So
we went back again to the pizza. I already mentioned that. I got a couple cherry Pepsis in them. Gotta appreciate that. Josh, you always got these unique flavored pops. That's what I was driving here. I was like, we're doing pizza. It's like a rule at my house. We're not a pop family, but if we're eating pizza, we gotta have pop. What was that other one you were going, like Canadian dry, what was that, strawberry or something?
Oh, you're talking about the
ginger ale.
Raspberry ginger ale?
The raspberry ginger ale.
I think that was a special,
Yeah, it is a special thing. Have you ever had the blackberry?
The blackberry one's good.
The blackberry is phenomenal. No, it really is. So, we've been talking for like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. I think I got here at 9. What time is it now?
10:20.
It's late. No, did I get here? No, I think I got here like 8:30ish. It's late. Like we've been going at it. Some good stuff. We could have almost like just hit record because we were just hashing it out. A bunch of different things, especially talking about if Joe Pavelski is a lead or not. I say no. The nerds say yes. Whatever. Maybe we'll do that. Like
we're not getting into that.
Yeah, no, we're not going to get into it. We went hard at it a couple times now. We're also talking about some ideas down the road. We're going to try to, now that there's not as much pressure of talking about the hockey playoffs, we started the podcast talking about the hockey playoffs. We're going to start off with it here just in a second. But we got a bunch of fun things coming your way. Josh wanted to I won't. And you know what other thing too? I got some stuff set up for you guys that I can't even tell you guys,
right?
Because I don't want you to research. I want it to be totally spontaneous. So things are gonna get nerdy. It's episode 9. Maybe next episode, it's gonna be the first double digit. Listen when you can, tell your friends, I guess. How we doing? We're looking at Spotify. We're still yet to crack 50, I think, on YouTube for views. We did have that one short of Ropey Heinitz that got some I got like 500 views, I think. Stick with us. We're just having fun. We're not pros, but we're certainly, we're not even acting like pros, are we either?
I'm acting like a pro tonight.
I know. Aaron is ready to have a 4-hour NHL draft analyzation over there. He's got his notes. This is the first time he's game with a notebook. He's got a magazine. Weren't sure his computer wasn't doing the update at the beginning there. That gave us more time to talk. But Josh, once again, your hair is looking good. You look like you're a guy who's ready to shave his beard and his hair because the playoffs are over. Is that happening?
I wish. I'm doing a show and they want the guys to have long hair and facial hair. So I have to keep this long hair for another month in the middle of summer.
Wow.
I'm not thrilled about it. And the good news for me is that our final show is going to be a matinee. So we're going to end. I'm going to get out my costume and all that, and I'm immediately going to go get a haircut.
Wow.
I'm ready for it to go, man. It's too
Yeah, I'm ready for it too. Is there red in there? Is that what's out there?
Probably the beard, yeah.
Isn't there? Josh is a famous actor, by the way, here in Chilliwack. Yeah. He's doing what is it, Monty Python?
Yeah, Spamalot there. It's a musical based.
What's your role? You're singing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ensemble, and I also play the Finnish mayor. If I get to slap people with fish at the beginning of the show, it's great.
A Finnish, like a mayor from Finland?
Yeah, I'm the mayor of Finland.
Give me a Finland accent. Just say say one of your lines.
Say your Royal Highness.
No,
in Finnish.
Please say a line in Finnish.
I don't speak in Finnish. You just like it's. You talk about like it's like a 2-minute song at the beginning of the show, and it's like you just look at the very Eastern European industry, so Scandinavian way. Like you make it really silly and like as Eastern European as you can.
Wow.
And yeah, finish, boom, done. That's the beauty of this show is we're not looking for good Finnish accents. We're not looking for good French accents. There, you want to make it stupid and silly and ridiculous because it makes it funnier.
So what I need to do now is I need to take a clip of that and you speaking in Finnish and make it our next short, and then send it to my family in Kelowna who had a Finnish exchange student only like a year or two ago.
Nice.
And then I'll have to get them to forward it to the board. Yeah.
Do it more.
It'll be...
No.
Sing us a song in Finnish.
No, you can.
I don't think that was part of the... I don't think that was part of the topic.
You can buy
No, it wasn't. It's definitely not highlighted or underlined over here. Let's do it. Let's just go to where we need to go.
Yeah.
Let's not go yet to Game 7. Stanley Cup Finals. Florida goes up 3-0. I will say that I think Aaron, you might be proof. Aaron and I work together in the morning. We're always going back and forth about hockey. I can confidently say I had faith that there was going to be a Game 7. Remember I always said, I was telling everybody, I'm like, they just got to somehow get it to Game 7, and then it doesn't matter how many games they lost in a row or how many games they won in a row. They get it to Game 7. Obviously, Florida proved. Just get it to Game 7, and you can snap the momentum, that's for sure. But first 3 games, Florida won them. They even won obviously, Game 3, which is huge, in Edmonton. That was one of Edmonton's best fights, besides Game 7 that they didn't win. But your thoughts, Josh? You said Florida in 5.
I did.
And
I don't regret that choice.
You went real dandy after
Game 3.
After Edmonton went down by 3.
I was feeling real good. You could I think we in our last episode there, and Aaron and I talked about it for a while, and it was basically just me dumping on the Oilers for like 10 minutes. I don't regret any of it because they hadn't shown that they were putting up a fight, and then all of a sudden they decided to do that, and hey, good for them. But Florida finally got their act together, and they just shut them down in Game 7 there, and the right team won. The right team won.
Wow,
absolutely,
the right team won.
100%.
Not the team with the best 1-2 punch in the world. Not one of the best player in the world. Not with the most momentum of any team going in the playoffs. Okay.
100%.
You're quiet over there. You're doing nerdy stuff over there. He is like preparing himself for this draft.
Well, I'm past the draft stuff now. I'm on the free agent.
You're on the UFA. We're going to get there. We've asked Aaron to do the top 5 players at each position, each wing, center, and the back rear guards. Don't do right D and left D. Don't get too nerdy on it.
I was actually going to keep the wingers the same, but
cool.
I can do left and right.
No, I like wingers the same.
Yeah, because I'm going to do it. I'm going to do top 5 and intriguing, but we'll get there.
So we'll jump right ahead. Edmonton. I don't know. I think I've definitely said this to you because you and I talk the most hockey. There was, in my opinion, going to be one game when Bob was going to flip the switch to not do well, and there was going to be a blower. That was game 4.
I don't remember you saying that.
No,
I'm not
come on.
sure.
Are you being serious?
Do you
or
remember
not?
this, John?
I don't, if I'm being honest.
Remember, I'm the grid. I will whip your nerdy ass. Don't say like I didn't say it. There was one game where I said that Edmonton was going to blow up the score sheet. Now, there was no evidence after the first 3 games of that, but game 4 is where it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they blew up in that one game, and then they also kept it going past that. So, and then Bob figured it out. So, yeah. I mean, the fact that the Oilers were able to win 3 straight, you could totally, like, it was all over social media. It was all over the headlines. It's like, wow, this Florida team, it's getting in their heads that they could break history for all the wrong reasons. And I think that's part of the reason that the Oilers were able to turn the tide. They just played looser and they took more chances. I mean, I'm pretty sure you'd have, like, I didn't follow as closely as I did until Game 7, the previous 3 games they had won. But it felt like multiple games where they were getting shorthanded goals. That's a team that's taking chances. And kudos to the Depth Oilers for bringing them back in this series. And obviously McDavid did as well for his double 4-point night. And then even Game 6 where he didn't have a point, the team still figured out a way to win. They got out ahead and they held on. So the Oilers played the right way.
So for me, and I'm really glad you bumped that 2 games in a row with 8 points, and then Game 7, he didn't get a point, and they still got it done. It was 5-1, wasn't it?
I think it was a bit closer.
Yeah, it was 5. No, Game 6 was 5-1.
Was it?
McDavid didn't get a shot, and he didn't get a point. And yeah, they got it done without him. Not only did they get it done, like they scored 5 goals completely without him, but that was like, for me, was like a huge open of the door. Once again, at this point, now we're teeing up Game 7, where anything, like, Josh, you could be out on the ice for Game 7, be around the net, take a cross check from Ekman Larson, and the puck hits you in the back of the neck and goes in. Like that, anything can happen in Game 7. Are you picturing that right now, Josh? My neck! But it still goes in. Josh gets the game-winning goal. My point is, anything can happen in Game 7, but there was borrowed time because McDavid did not do anything, apparently. And I didn't watch Game 6. Did not do anything, and they still got it done and were able to get to Game 7. And then in Game 7, I'll tell you right now, and I said I didn't watch Game 6 because I obviously didn't. Game 7, my son had a lacrosse playoff game, and it was like the worst timing. It was like the game started at 6:30, but you got to be there at 5:30 with the kids before, right at puck drop. And then right at the end of the game, there were an hour and 45-minute games. Right at the end of it, then everyone's like, oh, by the way, the parents were in the corner with a projector, all of them had like a big canvas screen. That was coaching a playoff game. We won.
Better than the Oilers.
So anyways, yeah, there wasn't a lot of like noise coming from over there. We definitely heard when they made it 2-1. That is the Panthers. But anyways, McDavid just didn't do it. He just couldn't get it going. Helped me out a little bit. I mean, I watched highlights and I went, obviously PVR'd it for the Stanley Cup celebration, went home, but just like when the last 4 minutes. That crowd was going bonkers, obviously. But McDavid, like, helped me out. Like, he just didn't have it, or was Bobrovsky that good?
Well, Bob was fantastic in that game. I also didn't get a chance to see it. I was at rehearsal for all of it, but I was following along in the scores.
Finish?
Yeah. It's almost like I have all the commitments. It's weird, huh?
Yeah.
But no,
What's your excuse, Sarah? What were you doing? Did you watch
I
it?
already said, Game 7, I watched the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Start to finish.
Pick us up on Bob, Josh.
he was very good in Game 7. He made some good saves. And Florida just got back to their defensive ways of just shutting the team down. Like, that's what they do. They take the lead and like, all right, we're not going to let you get any real good opportunities here. And Edmonton did manage to get a few opportunities in there, but they were all You will go back and look at those and like the saves that were made in like the second and third period. It's just, I mean, Bob's doing whatever he can, but the defensemen, even the forwards for Florida, they're just getting in the lane as much as they can. They're not letting any shot get on net there. They're like, we just stop it no matter what, because they know that what's on. It's Game 7. They're like, screw it, I will break my hand if I have to, but I'm winning this damn cup.
Do you think like that is like, because there's no doubt about Edmonton was really, really good in the last 3 games, and do you think that just kind of like gets back to like anything goes in Game 7? It was kind of like a reset for momentum and style of play. You know what I'm saying, though? Like,
yeah.
Because it's like, okay, you guys won the first 3, we won the next 3, but Edmonton and their fans weren't thinking like, oh, this will be amazing because we came back from down 3-0. They're just like, this is amazing because we're going to just win the Stanley Cup. Like, the whole thought process, like, when they made it 3-1, it was like, whoa, they wiped them out, good job. When they made it 3-2, everybody is thinking, oh, man, this could be the comeback. And then once they make it 3-3, like that stays there for the whole time. But then when puck drop goes, it's just totally zeros all around. Like, it doesn't really matter. And what I'm getting at is you're like, Florida was able to get back to their style of like getting the lead and keeping it. And Bobrovsky was just like a clear mindset. Never mind what happened the past 3 games. We haven't really talked about Skinner at all. I don't think we need to.
It was fine. The game one he probably would want back, but I don't think it wasn't a good
went
goal.
Through him.
Yeah, it sucks, but like also he wasn't the reason they lost.
No, not when you let in 2 goals.
No, he could have, again, that game where he wants back, he could have been better overall, but like he was fine. There was nothing wrong with Skinner.
21 shots, 19 saves. Bob, on the other hand, 24 shots. So it's not like it was like a massive lopsided in shots or anything. I'll be honest, like I said, I did not watch the game. But in my mind, I feel like I kind of have a gist of how it went, especially because I watched like the last 6 minutes. McDavid looked so tired. It was unbelievable. Now, obviously, he's tired.
Yeah.
Like, obviously. But he just looked tired. Someone said that this is just what I heard today from a customer in the store. Someone said that McDavid had bad abdominal injury and he was getting surgery on that. Know nothing about that. And then someone said that Draisaitl was playing with a broken finger and a super bummed up wrist.
I mean, like, NHL players play through all sorts of injuries in the playoffs, and that's a whole nother discussion on whether or not that's actually good.
There was 6 seconds left, and McDavid was out front because there was just no need for him to go down in that, 6-person scrum. There was like 3 players from each team, and it was like him going down there would have meant nothing. He was kind of open out front. Like, he really was. There, I don't know if anyone was like, no one was like tying him up. And then I'm hoping they were a stick leg. Yeah, I know. Exactly. It's not like the puck was in that much of a jeopardy, just go immediately on his stick. But I was staring at him at that point and you could just see like the whole hockey world just like being flushed out and be like, oh gosh, this puck ain't getting to me and I ain't changing this game. I was staring at him. I rounded back. I was like, and you could just see his stick goes from like down on the ice, like give me the puck, and then like comes up, and it's just like, oh, we lost. With like 6 seconds left. By the way, there was one guy. I'm just spitballing here. I'm just firing him up. There's one guy that had a parlay. He put down $1,000 on a couple different things, but he also had the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup, and it paid him like $526,000, and they showed him in the last 30 seconds. I mean, it looked like he was going to cry, and I was just like, oh, man. So he had like a parlay. He had like 3 things, and then one of them was the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup, and it paid 500 times his 1,000, and obviously he didn't win.
I am happy the Panthers won. I think they have a lot of good stories on their team. Kyle Okposo getting to lift the cup, man. That was great.
Yeah,
like it was actually a little. I don't want to say surprising the cup order, But
I love
it was
that
great.
stuff.
It was great. Like, but there's a shout out to, well, not a shout out maybe, but like ESPN missing the first cup lift is so funny. Because,
What do you mean?
yeah, no, so Sportsnet got it. But ESPN on the broadcast, they have Bettman there handing the cup to Barkov. They get the photo there, and then Barkov takes it and immediately just starts skating off to the left. And you can tell that they're not ready for it because you can see if you watch the ESPN clip.
Oh shit, he's going left. He's
Exactly.
going
Yeah.
left.
No, they start tracking him. You can see him start to lift the cup, but that's it. And then he goes out of frame, and then they quickly switch
How
to
do you
another
know
angle.
this? Is this like something you read on the
it's-
internet?
Oh yeah, he was blowing up and putting
Tweeting around? Yeah, you're a big
And,
Twitter guy. What's your Twitter handle? Say it.
Oh God, I don't even know what it is.
You don't even
It's-
know? You're not that much of a big time.
Wow.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Add J Power 16, the P capital P, the 0 for the O. So
You
they did zero.
nerd.
That's fine.
You're such a
But
nerd.
no. Anyway, when they cut to the next angle there, Barkov's already he's already lifted the cup. It's back down again. So they missed the first cup.
First
lift.
Finnish captain, Barkov.
Was he?
Yeah,
Yes,
what,
that's correct.
that's what bobblehead Bettman said. Let me just say this. I have it written down. I'm glad that they kept the tradition going and booed Gary Bettman.
Well, yeah,
Perfect.
100%. Dude, Gary wouldn't know what to do if he wasn't getting
Let's
booed.
keep going through this well-deserved, though. I mean, obviously the first Kachuk to hoist the Stanley Cup, get his name on there.
His dad got to hoist it too.
Yeah, I
after,
know,
which
it's
is
pretty
love
cool.
it.
Yeah, I don't
His
know why-
brother's not going to hoist it. I
No.
wouldn't.
No,
I'm not
can't.
sure.
he will
Yeah.
not touch
But
it.
it was cool to see his. I got two boys. It was cool to see his brother Brady get like emotional about it. He was like,
Brady's the biggest Matt Tkachuk fan. It's amazing.
yeah, it is amazing. Like it honestly is really cool, and it makes me like to hate them even more. Like that's like
That's fair.
it makes me like to hate them, or love to hate them, I should say.
That's fair.
Who else? Your boy there, your Vancouver boy.
yeah.
Oh, we're
Yeah,
paying him
so-
too much money.
no, so
we're
I
paying
like
him too much
this.
money.
I'm pretty sure this is the first player in NHL history to lift the Stanley Cup while being on the Vancouver Canucks payroll.
Oliver Ekman. Did you see Brock Poso's still getting paid $500,000 from the Sabres? By the way, too.
So it was because they had a clause in his contract
Yeah.
where if he won the Stanley Cup, he got a $500,000 bonus. Now, Florida will be charged the overage for it there because I will put them over the cap. Buffalo's paying it,
Yeah,
which is
that's
so funny.
amazing.
But no,
That's
OEL lifts the
absolutely
cup, which is like OEL is the fourth person to get that cup, which is a little surprising, but I like it. I like it.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were gonna say, sorry, Josh. I thought you were gonna say that he was the first player to win the cup a year after being bought out, and I'm like,
Oh,
really?
No, I'm sure
Like, that would be
Probably a couple of those guys.
Probably. You'd think so.
But no,
That's
just
pretty impressive for him, though.
He's on the.
Wasn't
Canucks
Joe
payroll.
Pavelski bought out? Oh wait,
Never
never
bought
won a
out.
Stanley Cup.
Yeah, no, and he wasn't bought out. They chose to sign Eric Carlson over
Sloppy
him.
Joe.
I'd rather have Patty Maroon than that schmuck Joe Pavelski.
How about Perry again?
Oh, love it.
Yes, go.
I like. Oh man, so Corey Perry is just such a. I mean, his nickname is like the Worm, and it's not because he can dance. It's because he's a complete worm. He's a rat out on the ice.
No, he's
And-
not a rat. He's a worm.
It's
Big
yeah.
difference.
And well, and so like you, if it was almost anyone else, you'd feel bad because
But he
Ma-
does have a cup, though. It's
he
not.
won it. Yeah, he won it. And
He won it young. Good for him.
So it's not. Yeah, exactly. So that definitely helped.
But he also could have what, like 5 cups in 6 years.
This is his fourth time losing in the Cup Finals,
And one of those was to the Leaf. That's the only time he didn't lose in the finals. He got beat out by the Leafs with
They didn't make it to the
Tampa.
finals when they lost. in the
He
round one to the
did beat
Leafs.
them out
Yeah.
before, the year before, right?
I'm not gonna lie. Like, if we're being honest, he probably only could have won 2 of these 4 cups. Like Edmonton.
No
And
way he's better
Tampa.
than that Montreal one.
Yeah, no way Montreal, and no way Dallas.
Definitely a better shot than Montreal, but I still think
That was the year that Anton Khudobin was their starter against that
Yeah.
star-studded Tampa team. They were not winning that Stanley Cup.
You're right. You're right. Dude, Khudobin had an unreal run that year.
I want to get back, though, to, is there anyone else you want to shout out there?
Yeah.
Montour. How much? Me and Dan were saying, Did Montour just like maybe win himself an extra $1 million per year?
Yeah, probably.
Like, why not? He's like, hey man, this guy's won. He kind of does it all.
Yeah.
He has offensive flair. I didn't know he was indigenous either, too. I just had no clue. And they're like, shout out, he's, was he from Six Nations, I think? I think he's Six Nations guy. But anyways, shout out to him. And I do believe he just made himself an extra, maybe like a 1.5. Like, he's maybe gone from like a 7.5 guy to like an 8.5 guy.
Yeah,
why not?
Excellent defenseman.
Why
very
not?
Good offensively.
Is he just going to stay there and not pay tax?
He might. Florida definitely is a spot that you think players can stay. Like what's the space there? Reinhardt said he's like, I want to stay here. I want to keep going with this. Which I wouldn't be shocked if he takes a cut because again, you pay like no state tax there, so that helps. And you're on a team that just won the cup.
Shout out to, and this is going to take us into my next guy, but shout out to Sam Bennett, former Kingston Frontenac's captain, my hometown, Kingston represent. I have a funny story though. Okay, so the Frontenacs, we moved back to Kingston, my wife and I, for a 2-year plan. Ended up being 3 years, but my good buddy Mike worked at a bar that always got tickets, so we were just always getting tickets. And then we capitalized them in the playoffs. The Frontenacs went up 3-0, and Sam Bennett, this could be a little bit bent of the truth, but this is kind of how I remember it. They went up 3-0 in the first round, and Sam Bennett was their captain, and then he got he was hurt, and then he came back in the lineup, and they lost 4 games in a row with him back in the lineup. And I remember just hating Sam Bennett because I watched every home game. I thought, I was like, this guy's little, and he sucks, and he's just floating around. And then all of a sudden, I forgot about him for a couple of years, and then he became an NHL player.
And pick.
Yeah, and then he was just like gritty for your Flames. I was like, what do you mean this guy's gritty? I think this guy's a wimp. And then we ran into him last year as a Leaf fan, and he hurt Nyes with hitting him so hard. And I think that was a clean hit too, as I remember. But anyways, it's just amazing how you think someone is something, especially so early in their career, and then they end up just being like the complete opposite. Now, Paul Maurice. Okay, I want to talk about him. That was a beautiful speech. But I just want to go back and say it's the first time he said he saw Sam Bennett smile in 2 years. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty good. I would like, before you get into Paul Maurice, I would like to quickly just bring it up to Chuck for one thing there, because he had just an excellent quote, which is, shout out all my fans in Calgary. You know I couldn't let Edmonton win. Which I love that.
See that. Is that a kick, or is that like a thumbs up?
For Calgary fans?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a thumbs up all day. All day, that's a thumbs up. It's kind of like, it's such a good quote. It's up there for recent quotes from like the Cup final interview there with Kadri when he won with the Avalanche there. He's like, all the people saying I was a liability and kiss my ass or whatever it was. Hilarious quote. And it's the same level with Chuck there, because like that to me just justifies cheering against Edmonton even more than I already had been, because the amount of people I saw like, oh, it's such a loser move for Flames fans to just cheer against the Oilers just so they lose. Like, to Chuck burned your city, he didn't want to be there. Like, I don't know. That sounded like Chuck looks back on his time with Calgary pretty positively. If he's like basically saying, yeah, I still hate Edmonton like I was on the Flames.
Yeah, I think I caught on to that big time, and I actually thought of you. Actually, I'm not joking when he said that.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up, because you pick up little things like that and you take stuff like that to heart. I still think Flames fans should hate Tkachuk.
I have nothing against
him. Hate him in like a way, like if Marner gets traded, kind of hate him.
Well, no, I don't know about that, because like I understand if people dislike him. I understand even more if people dislike Johnny Gaudreau, because Gaudreau just left in free agency, and that stings. It does. But Tkachuk at least was like, I am not going to re-sign here, so I will help you get, like, I will work with you, just negotiate a deal and get me in so you can get me to a team that I want to go to and you can get something back. And now, granted, the return, Huberdeau not looking very good. Uyghur's pretty good, though. I like Mackenzie Uyghur.
Yeah, you're right. At least he got a trade. He did just walk.
And it helped Florida beat Edmonton, and I count that as a win.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be a Panther for a long time now.
Yep.
And who's to say his brother isn't just going to come play with him in a couple of years, too?
That'd be terrifying.
Yeah, he said, too, he's like, oh, yeah, my brother's going to win one of these one day. He's such a gamer, right? We got to get back to Paul, though. That was super awesome. The guy, I'll say, like, that speech he had, like, he was deep into the camera. Like, my wife was, like, talking to me about, like, crumbs on the counter or something because I made, like, a late-night peanut butter and jam. And I was like, honey, like, this man is pouring his heart out to the hockey world right now. Please, let the crumbs be, right? And then I paused. I was like, come look at this guy's face right now. Like, and that was, like, a beautiful moment for coaches. That was like a beautiful moment, not just hockey coaches. It was a beautiful moment for coaches, and it was like I'd like to see the emotion, and then to see him hoist the Stanley Cup on the bench too. That was super good. They had some sweet angles with that too. They hit him up with like 3 different angles when he's hoisting the cup. And there's something about it too. I like to like see like the trainers and like the assistant GMs and everything. I like that stuff. That Luongo was in there as well too. He like had a picture right away on the internet. It was like, oh yeah, Luongo's like desktop piece, his new desktop piece. It was just him with like his legs up, like writing something down with the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
I'm thinking like, isn't he still supposed to be drunk? Like where? How did they Photoshop that or something? Or he just grabbed the cup really quick? But yeah, good for Florida. Honestly, that state knows how to win. That's for sure. And yeah, good for them. Good for Paul Maurice, though. I really, I really did enjoy that. Final takeaways, though, from the playoffs. I got it underlined here. Aaron is in full nerd mode. We haven't heard him speak a syllable in a while. Aaron, your final takeaways from the playoffs. It can be like the Canucks proved some people wrong and proved themselves right. Like, you go deep. What's your final takeaway?
There were 15 really good teams that make the playoffs this year.
Who's the what?
What do you mean?
Who's the last guy? Yeah.
That's an obvious
Hold
one.
on. Yes. No, we got to guess.
Washington. I'm sorry, Washington.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, it's the one team that
I
got
had to think
swept.
about that for a second, though. I was like, is he saying the Islanders? Or
How dare you insult the Islanders?
The Washington sucked. Ovi, no shot. So whatever, Ovi. They're not going to make the playoffs for a long time.
I'm surprised they
They're
made
going to
it
be
this year.
bad for a long time. I know.
You told me that they were going to make the playoffs this year with
And
Charlie
Pittsburgh
Lindgren.
wasn't? Yeah.
No, with Charlie Lindgren as their starter, I wouldn't have believed you.
That was a good take. That was a good takeaway. I like that. Josh, your final takeaway from the Stanley Cup playoffs.
It was entertaining or playoffs overall. There wasn't really any boring series I found, and I think Florida's going to be back next year. I don't know if they win it.
Wow.
I think we're going to have 6 years
shopping into my take.
Florida is going to make the Cup Finals again.
No, I'm just immediately just dismantling your takeaway. That's fair. They're what 3 years in a row.
I think they make it out of the Atlantic again.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
I'm gonna go I'm going the other way. I think Edmonton's gonna be in the finals again. Like play the same game that like Crosby did when he had to lose to Detroit to his first year. Gosh, that was good playoff hockey. And then the next year they go back and beat Detroit, and Marian Hossa was on the wrong team both years.
Yep.
And then obviously we seen Tampa. They did it, but they lost in the finals, and then like took a year off, and then went right to win it 2 years in a row.
Well, no, they would have been a while because they made it to the finals 2015.
Yeah,
against the Hawks, they lost, and then in 2020.
Correct.
They was it 2020?
We should say 2019. They went.
It was 2019. Yeah,
That they lost
to the Blue Jackets in round 1. They got
And that-
swept as the first.
That's what
That
I'm
was
getting
after
at.
having their
That's
huge
what I'm
season.
getting
Next
at.
2 years.
Then they won. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Because I was like, did I just? I'm like, you're like 2050. I'm like, oh, that's a long time ago.
They had a few years in a row.
So that's
That's
what
when Pittsburgh was.
So, but what I'm getting at is like they lost. Remember the Columbus too. That was
that
was embarrassing. But anyways, that like these teams keep finding ways to get back to the finals, and it seems like they got to go through perseverance to get there. Obviously, Florida did this year. So my takeaway is, first of all, McDavid's unreal.
100%.
We didn't talk about
Conn Smythe, we can talk
we're
about
gonna
it right now.
just give me a second. Let me just shore this up quick and say that I think Edmonton's going to be back next year, and I'll just run it right into the Conn Smythe talk. But I think Connor McDavid's going to win the Conn Smythe next year, and he's going to actually come out and get the award. I want to know what you think, Josh. And I want to know what you think, Aaron, and then we know I'm going to say what I think.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. So like about the Conn Smythe in general.
The fact that he did not come out to get the Conn Smythe. I just want you to stay there. Tell me what you think.
I think I totally get why he didn't, because you look at the last time that happened, and it's J.S. Giguère winning in 2003, and he came out to get it, and that's the saddest man. It's the photo of the saddest man. You could go to funerals and you will not see someone sadder than that.
I'm going to look up the photo right now.
It is. He's just so depressed.
It becomes a meme if McDavid comes out, and
it's a no-win situation for McDavid, because either he either goes out and gets it, and everyone takes you got the photo there, and everyone dunks on it because haha, look at the silly man who lost, but he got the trophy.
This is terribly sad.
That's what I'm saying. It's the saddest
photo ever.
Saddest man.
Oh
my! And that they won in 07, because then he got
sweet playoff year. This is J.S. Giguère's coming out party. Gee, I remember that.
Yeah,
this is incredibly sad.
Yeah,
it's not like he's going to be somewhat like standardly have a half smile in there. Yeah, he is terribly sad. I am glad that you honed in on the sadness.
Hey,
of that.
just to clarify, is J.S. Giguère elite?
No.
Ooh, that's a tough take.
How is a goalie that won a Conn Smythe
in a losing effort?
Guys, he was like
and won a Stanley Cup.
He was come on.
He's not elite. He's not elite
goalie.
That's okay. That take stands on its own.
You're elite. You're in the Hall of Fame. Come on. If you're a goalie, this is not elite time. There's no way J.S. Giguère's in the Hall of Fame. This is not the elite talk. Okay, this is Conn Smythe, Connor McDavid talk. That's it. Aaron, you watch yourself, right?
You want to go? You want me to finish up first?
You should finish up.
Okay, because like I fully agree with McDavid not going out and getting it, because you watch what he does. After they lose, he stays out on the ice and waits and like hugs all his teammates as they go to the bench. He's like pat on the back like that, like he's being a good captain.
He turned around and went down the chute. I'm with him. I'm like, oh
yeah.
If he's got to turn back around.
No, he knew at that point. Someone would have stopped him.
No, I don't know.
Well,
like
they wouldn't have let him get.
When you're doing like your handshake of your posse, this could be like, oh hey Connor, by the way you won the Conn Smythe. Like you don't get that tap until you go down the chute.
They wouldn't have let him get down. They would have probably let him get off the ice.
The public relation person is right there.
Yeah,
and they're telling him right then and there. Or, dude, we don't know the story. Like, maybe someone missed him. Like, maybe there was I know they don't miss him. I know.
The question is if they felt the need to tell him, like, hey, you might have won the Conn Smythe, or you did.
Solution of what I think happened, but Aaron, I want to hear your thoughts on it. Like, I want to hear your moral thoughts on it.
My moral thoughts?
Yeah.
Well, I think that McDavid has every right to decide how he's going to do that, right? I mean, here's the boring take that is the same as Josh's take. He's the captain of his team. They just lost the Stanley Cup. Does he care that he won the Conn Smythe and was incredible, had like almost twice as many points as the next player? No. He did all that and they lost. And that's how that's not even me being harsh. That's how he himself takes it.
Yeah.
He's not happy with how the playoffs went.
No.
Well, sure, he's like, yeah, we made it to the final, but like all the interviews, they're like short answer. Like he knows. And you know what? Here's the thing. I think Oilers fans, for the most part, are actually happy about like the fact that they were able to bring it back to 7. I think they're proud of their team.
Yeah,
and I think that
should be.
Yeah, and credit to all that. I think that's the truth is that McDavid, yeah, I mean, someone could have told him, and he said, "Yeah, I'm not going out." And the truth is, there's two takes, because I won't say who, but I have some close family in town, and they said that they thought
know who they are.
I will tell you afterwards, but they thought it was. Let me just try and make sure I use how they words. Basically, they thought it was disrespectful that he didn't go to claim the trophy. Like, he thought it was disrespectful to the trophy, to the league, right? But I just disagree, because here's the truth. Like, you know, obviously there have been like J.S. Garrah, like he was on the ice. The Oilers left. McDavid left the ice. He can get it when they go to if they have the awards in Vegas as well.
Yeah.
Then they can do it then. Like he can claim the Conn Smythe then. I think the truth is he's the captain of his team. Their team lost. He's going to be in there with his teammates.
Yeah.
He would rather be in there with his teammates, with all of them in a very silent room, hearing all the woos and hollers from the Panthers, rather than be out there on the ice claiming the trophy by himself with his teammates in the locker room.
Yeah, just to get booed, like he was saying, get booed.
Well, regardless of if he gets booed, it doesn't matter. They were booing even
They
after.
boo him with their mouths, but clap with their hands.
Let me say this. Yeah, if they were cheering, it doesn't matter if they were cheering. He wouldn't have gone out there. He didn't go out there.
Yeah.
So that's
that was well said. And I'm gonna say two things. First of all, J.S. Garrah, when he won, was kind of a rookie. Like, he was, like, very new to the scene. He had zero status, like, as far as, like he's not going to be, like, look, it's a difference between, like, Patrick Waugh winning it and if he would have lost one of those years in Colorado, and they're like, gosh, Waugh's not coming out. Because he's Patrick Waugh. And J.S. Garrah is kind of just like, I am the new French-Canadian goaltender that is in my coming-out party. I'm not even, like, into my second year of my contract. I don't even know. I think he could have, like, been, like, a rookie still. But what I'm getting at is he doesn't have the prestige with his name and his, like, you know what I mean? Like, he can't be like, I'm better. I'm not coming out.
I'm going to interrupt you.
Has that, like, he can do whatever he wants.
I don't disagree with that entirely. I just need to ask you, because I think this is serious, or not. It's not serious. We're just guys with dumb, boring, no one listens to opinions. I want to know, was Garrah on the ice by himself, or were the other Ducks players there? Because that's a team.
Question.
That's a team thing. Because I thought it was interesting. Like, if the Oilers players are out there, McDavid's out there, and he would probably go claim it. But the Oilers left. If the Ducks are out there, is Garrah supposed to just be like, "No, I'm not going. No, not going."
If the Ducks are out there, if the Oilers stayed out there, then they definitely would. He would have taken the picture with it. There's no doubt about it. Also, and you're the visiting team too. Like, I'm sure Garrah was on the visiting team, because that Ducks team was not that destined to win the Stanley Cup. So there's no way they were the home team. But I just want to get back to, I think that it's as simple, and you described, like, the scenario of, like, he's in a locker room and it's silent. I think that's just, like, what it was. Like, he just, like, he went down the chute. So now he was the last guy to give the glove pound to everybody and, like, congratulate them as a leader and captain. Now he's going to be the last guy in the room. So he doesn't even get to, like, he's reading the room as he comes in. Like, he doesn't, like, who knows? Like, maybe guys are in there breaking sticks. And he's like, I'm going to break a stick. You know what I mean? Like, and then he's definitely not going out for a photo. But, like, he is obviously coming into the atmosphere as well, too. And who knows? Maybe right at the door, they're like, hey, Connor, you won the Conn Smythe. And he's probably just like, he's saying to whoever he's talking to that told him he won, and in his mind, he's like, I just need to be with my team. And I think that's kind of it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, you guys good to just kill that there. It's just like, Connor McDavid need to be with his team. I seen like a couple of these social media platforms were just bumping off about it. I'm like, I think you guys are just looking for clickbait. I think you guys are looking for comments. It's like, should have Connor McDavid, or was it disrespectful that Connor McDavid went out? No, because right away when they asked him, he was just like, yeah, it's an honor, and that trophy has so much prestige, and the legends that are on it. He lost the game, he said. He's like, not like, oh, I didn't want to go out because I'm better than that.
Do you guys think that they whispered it into the mic? Connor McDavid, the Conn Smythe winner for this year is Connor McDavid. No, they heard it from their dressing room.
Stupid Gary Badman.
Yeah, I'm saying they heard it. They heard it.
That bobblehead.
They didn't need someone to tell them. They would have heard
everyone probably
in the dressing room. They would have heard Conn Smythe won it this year. Connor McDavid.
Yeah, no.
And then the whole room silent. Everybody's looking at him. No one's saying a word because Derek Ryan's like, hey Connor, are you gonna go grab that trophy? It was pretty impressive year.
Oh, 100%. I have a question for you. Should Connor McDavid have won the Conn Smythe?
Yeah, of course. Why not? He was the most valuable player.
Yeah,
he was the NHL playoffs. I know.
7 games.
Yeah.
I saw the votes that were, because there were 18 voters.
Yes,
apparently, if I'm reading this correctly, unless there's like another guy named Jonathan Bernier was one of the voters.
I saw that. Did you see Jim Matheson's ballot? That was bad.
I saw that the only guy that left McDavid off of his first place vote,
Ryan S.
Clark,
yeah.
the same guy who picked the Vancouver Canucks over the Oilers. When they guys are getting nerdy, when there were all those,
we got to get out of here. We just got other stuff we got to talk about. But I love that you guys. I love when you guys realize that you're reading and seeing the same stuff, and then I'm over here realizing how nerdy you guys actually are, and like you guys know these guys' names, which is even better for the nerd.
I do have one thing.
Come on, hit it, go.
Is with the Conn Smythe voting. I do think McDavid should have won because when the only 2 players to ever score more points in even a single playoff run is Gretzky and Lemieux. Yeah, that's elite. But I do find it funny that multiple people had Stuart Skinner on their ballots.
Well, yeah, I saw
that was, which is just
that's
they got him down
whatever
3.
Yeah, they were all the third place.
He's getting it's all like a point system.
Yeah. So
then you have to put someone there, so just give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, like,
someone better.
There was one Forsling. There was a couple.
Forsling technically finished third in Conn Smythe voting.
Yeah.
It went McDavid, Barkov, Forsling.
Well, that's the thing is, I think that I saw more. I don't know for sure.
Why not Bobrovsky?
I thought
that's what I'm saying.
I thought I saw more Bobs, but I mean, that's what I was going to say. Is
would have been 4th.
Well, and Barkov was second, right?
Yes,
and that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Let me bring closure to the Conn Smythe Trophy. Okay, what is on top of the Conn Smythe Trophy?
That would be, I think it's Maple Leaf Garden.
Correct. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
You're not.
You're such a nerd, Tyler. Holy crap!
No,
only a nerd would know that.
I actually think it's going to happen one day when I'm going to have trivia against you both, and then we'll do like grit versus nerd.
Oh boy,
I'm going to do very well. You guys have no clue how much of a, because I don't know weird modern day stupid loser players' names.
I don't know.
Or these weird ballot guy names. Okay, I know a lot of stuff.
I just wanted, though, to take that one moment to dump on Stuart Skinner more, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
That's the main reason. Well, like, how do you vote for a guy for Conn Smythe who got replaced in the middle of a series? Like, come on. That's the MVP for the whole playoffs.
That's probably why Bobrovsky was not. That's probably why Bobrovsky was not.
Didn't get replaced.
No, he proved the bed in one game, though.
Who cares?
Yeah. Well, you're supposed to say, "Oh, so did McDavid," but
I mean, Skinner didn't allow 8 goals in a game.
Yeah, I know.
It's true.
We got to get out of here, though.
Sorry, I shouldn't say.
Not
that Bob did. They pulled him before that, and Skinner probably allowed similar in some games. So
you know, this kind of puts my final wrap on the postseason because we are going to get out of here. All of our 9 episodes have had playoff talk in it. This will be it. This will be the last. One of my favorite things, though, guys, honestly, is when they do the outro video of everything that happened, like the remembrance of, not remembrance, that sounds weird, like the look back of the postseason, and they always have like a wicked song, and that is one of my favorite things. That's one of the main reasons why I put like record time an hour and a half after the episode, just like the maximum you get, because I want to see that outro video, and Ron McLean did a good job with it, even though I think he's a nerd. Yeah, so like, I don't know if you guys seen it, but it was even a little glimpse of see my blue and white playing, but then of course they showed the Pasternak stupid dump in goal, and I was mad again for a second.
Sick play.
Look back, shout out to the playoffs. Predictions for next year, I think Edmonton is going to come back. Josh apparently thinks the Florida Panthers are going to maybe be there for a third time again. And Aaron thinks the Canucks are still cool. Yeah. Ready to get out of there? Let's do it.
Yeah,
you've got a lot of stuff you've been writing down this whole time.
I realize that it's really difficult to just do top 5 wingers when you're like, well, is Sam Reinhart gonna?
Let's just go.
We don't have to go there right away.
Yeah,
is that next or
no?
Let who's that guy to my? Oh yeah, Josh. Let him go off. The guy in the Stockton Heat jersey. Let him go off about.
It's a retro.
About what's the thing about what's the next there?
I don't want to say it.
No, say it. Let him say it.
Just say something. Josh wanted to like kick the show off.
Yeah, that's the biggest story.
I'm not gonna tee it up or anything like that. Use though. No. I'm gonna go take a dump. I'll be back.
This guy's our moderator.
Minutes.
I want him to say it. What's on the list there? What's next?
The stupidest attempt of an NHL organization ever.
Say it.
And then the second one is stupid as well too. The Utah Hockey Club. Like, you're going to sell some rich guy a team, and he doesn't even have a name or jersey schemes, like, whatever. I'm out of here. I'll be back. Josh, you can talk about your
team
stupid,
called?
The what are they? I'm just going to screw this up on purpose. The Phoenix Coyotes.
Yes.
There we go.
He wrote it down. He said it. They're not even the Phoenix Coyotes. They haven't been the Phoenix Coyotes for years.
Grit that is going to be coming from this Coyotes.
Well, I mean, you know, with the Coyotes there, the main reason is just that Alex Meruelo is out as owner. He has given up on them. Actually, he's stealing the Tucson Roadrunners and moving them to Vegas, which I'm upset about. But he has been such a terrible owner for them, and part of the deal when they sold it, he retained the rights to the Coyotes for 5 years if he wanted to restart the franchise, and I don't even know what happened. There was supposed to be a land auction that they were going to go try and win, and the land auction hasn't even happened yet. He's just bailed. I don't know if they just said, no, we don't want you to do it, but like Tyler is leaving the room right now. This is funny. That is hilarious. But no, it gives me time to
come off the auction, I thought.
I don't know if they did. I thought the auction was still happening.
Or postponed. They're like,
maybe.
Just not going to happen with you.
But no, the important thing is Alex Meruelo is out. He just gave up on it. All the rights and stuff for the Coyotes will be going back to the NHL. So in theory, we could have another Coyotes team as soon as like next season. It's not going to happen next season, but we could the Coyotes can come back
the year after.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, obviously not 24, 25, but like 25, 26, in theory, we could have the Coyotes again. We won't.
If you could find an owner that has the money and can have an arena, I think that's the trickier thing, right? Yes. Is they've already, we should probably have a list of the amount of owners they've had, but I think they've had 5
including the NHL.
Well, yeah, so like 5 or 6, and it's like if all those guys, I mean, they had Glendale, but if they can't find an arena in Scottsdale, Arizona, or any of these, or what were the other options? Tempe, yeah. So if they couldn't find an arena or make an arena that was up to NHL qualifications, the next guy that owns the team has to be a billionaire and has to be able to make or already have a pre-qualified rink.
100%.
So
I think that's part of the NHL stipulations at this point.
It should be.
It really should be.
So, and I think that's really where it becomes an interesting question of where is that person? And is it in Arizona? So because that's the thing is like I would love to, not that I was a big fan at that age, but like I'd love to see Atlanta come back. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are saying, no, don't let Atlanta. It's their third time. They're not legit. Maybe they're not legit, but I still want to see it happen. I like expansion. It's fun.
It's fun. I always joke with Atlanta that I want Atlanta to get another hockey team because then that means eventually down the road that we will finally get another Canadian team because they've had their team stolen by Canada twice.
Atlanta's going to go to Hamilton or the second Toronto-based team or Quebec,
Toronto, yeah. But I do like though with the Arizona though. I thought it was very funny about like the posts I saw, like people just reposting like, "Oh, Alex Meruelo's out as the owner." I saw a post that was liked by Josh Doan, which is hilarious. Jason Demers there.
Oh yeah.
Quote tweeted and it was like "good riddance" or something. You can tell when players are doing that stuff. It was bad because players never say anything.
Yeah,
and to have them come out and be like, "Good, he's gone," is hilarious. And I'm very glad that he's no longer going to be involved in any potential Coyotes teams going forward. Because again, I do legitimately think that's an excellent market. I'd say it's a very big market, and the NHL will be looking to come back there for an expansion team, or they'll revive the Coyotes or something.
It would be expansion, right?
I think it would technically be expansion.
Yeah, because they're not going to have those guys go from Utah back.
No, they'll stay in Utah there. But no, I think it's excellent that Meruelo's out. Everyone's very happy about it. And I can't wait for the Coyotes to come back and actually have a good owner. That is the thing. That you're right. Whoever it is needs to actually have money first of all, and not pay their hotel bills and not pay their rink bills like the Meruelos were doing, and not let their damn son run the Twitter account because that's what was happening there.
Yeah.
And they need to have either a rink built or like what Calgary has now, because Calgary finally is they're in the process of building a new rink.
Right.
They need to be able to whoever wants to own the Coyotes either needs to already have a rink built or be like, look, we have these we have deals in place. Not we're gonna try and get land here and build a rink. We'd like to build a rink here.
We want to make a whole district.
Yeah.
Of business.
You need to have deals in place, contracts signed, ideally at the very least shovels hitting the dirt for construction to start before the NHL should even consider going back there. But I do think that will be the case. I think someone will come along and be like, this is a very profitable situation for me if I create an NHL team here and rebrand back.
Well, and you don't have to do a 20-team name vote and include Powder and Squall and all those things because you already have the Coyotes.
Yes, you can just buy the Coyotes franchise back. You can be like, all right, we'll take them. And done. Easy. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's awesome. Yeah.
I like that.
That's why I said my piece about the Coyotes. I think it would have been funny to start with that. Honestly,
I would have started, but our mod with Grit said no, and that's why he does his thing. I'm looking at his list now to see what was next to Phoenix, which I find hilarious.
If Utah's on that list, we can skip. We do not need to talk about Utah again.
Utah. I can't even read this.
Oh man.
HC.
Yeah, that's Utah Hockey Club.
Oh, I thought for some reason I thought he was doing something nerdy like Utah head coach. What are we talking about? No. Does have the next NHL trade, so we could honestly, because he probably doesn't have too many thoughts or understanding on it. Let's start with some of the trade. We will start with what happened on June 19th during the playoffs.
Yep.
The Jacob Markstrom trade. So what happened days after we had talked about it?
Yep.
Are you happy with the return? How happy? What do you think?
I'm pretty happy with it. At the time, at the time when it first happened, I was a little let down. I wasn't like, man, this is a terrible trade, but I'm like, I was hoping for a bit more. There is another trade that's going to make it look a lot better. We'll get to that here shortly.
Mm-hmm.
But Kevin Ball, good young defenseman there. That's another guy you can have on your team.
I like
this year, especially because Oliver Shillington for the Flames I think he's a UFA.
He's actually a UFA, yeah. I think he'll re-sign.
I think he'll re-sign too.
But
if he doesn't, and that's perfect, that's his total right to do
or
so.
Calgary wants to move on too, right?
Exactly. I don't think they do, though. I think because they waited that long on him. I think they want to keep him around long term, and they should. He's a great defenseman.
Yeah, give him a shot.
But Kevin Ball, excellent. Like, that's a good young player there. Only making $1 million, like $1,050,000. Like, that's a cheap deal. It's a guy who can play like every game for you. And hey, like all the defensemen they got there over the trade deadline and stuff, they have at least probably one or two like defensemen, like top 4, maybe even like top 6 at the worst. But like they have at least a couple guys who should pan out and be serviceable NHL defensemen.
Assuming that the defensemen they have right now and Anderson and Weegar, that they're not moving those guys. I mean, namely Anderson, because his name's popped up, obviously.
Yep.
Him only being a couple of years away from being a UFA.
Exactly.
But you hold on to him, and then the rest of your bottom 4 defense. I think you have your top 2 defense, and then the bottom 4 take up the rest of the minutes, right?
Yep.
Ball's going to be one of those guys. Hopefully Shillington's one of those guys.
Braden Perkall there from Vegas.
Yeah, I like him.
And
then
Miramanov
was
well.
So you have
them guys.
You have 6 guys there, and assuming that Miramanov, Ball, and Pakal, is that how you say it?
I think it's Pahal. Technically, I'm not 100% sure.
So
it's a weird one.
We'll go with Pahal. Assuming that those are your bottom 3 guys, you could probably add one more top 4 defenseman there. Yep. I mean, I've done my list, but there's a lot of defensemen there that they could fill in to be there in the bottom 4 or challenge for the top 4 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So, and Calgary just wants to be, they want to be competitive with quotations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
then the draft pick.
Yeah, they got the 2025 first round pick from New Jersey, which is top 10 protected, which I'm not overly upset about. Like, it's not great. I would have much rather had the 10th overall pick this year. I think if there was an alternate deal where they get the 10th overall pick this year, and instead of Kevin Ball, you get like a lower prospect, I would have rather had that. Because having the 9th and 10th pick this year, and even what did they get from Vancouver? 23, 28? That's 28, isn't it?
I think it's 28. Yeah.
Like that's 3 picks in the first round and 2 in the top 10. Excellent.
And you have them now, so they get to your team sooner.
Exactly. But 2025 pick, it's still a first round pick. It's probably gonna be in like the late teens to 20s. I expect New Jersey to be very good with Jacob Markstrom there. So odds are it'll probably be a mid-round pick. It'll probably be similar to what the Canucks one is. Maybe not 28, but I wouldn't be shocked if they get like the 25th overall pick from it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Unless New Jersey just completely falls apart, and then in which case that'll be hilarious.
I think
we might get a top 10.
I think there's a world where they're probably like you can't bet on guys like Hamilton getting hurt again, and this is a team that like they're in on guys like Brett Pesce, like they're playing really aggressive. But I think the lowest you could probably see them is barely missing the playoffs, but likely a playoff spot with the moves.
I think so. And it helps too for them. Like the Flames retained $1.875 million on that deal there from Markstrom.
Almost a third of it.
Yeah,
which is a good number.
Yeah. So that helps them there. That's all. That's 2 years of Markstrom at just over $4 million. And for a goalie of his caliber, that is very good.
That's a good deal.
I think it's a good deal for both sides. New Jersey finally gets their goalie, and the Flames get futures, which is what they want.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think it's a pretty even trade. I think anyone that thinks that New Jersey fleeced, like, it's a 34-year-old goalie with 2 years left. Markstrom's had amazing years.
Yep.
And he's had some years where he was off. So that's kind of where it gets a bit dicey. But I think it's a good move for New Jersey. The cap hits good. They have Jake Allen there that will take some starts away from him.
Yep.
And I think that's what also helps to, loosen the load off him so it's not all on him. And then if they improve the defense, again, that should be a playoff team. They should be, at least wild card spot minimum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get quick into Darcy Kuemper for Dubois. LA Kings get Darcy Kuemper, and Capitals get Dubois. I think there's way too much overblow. Like, I get the Dubois contract sucks. I get it.
Bad.
And I get that it's hilarious that he's saying for the fourth time in 4 or 5 years, however many times he's been traded, then he's excited to go to Washington.
Yeah.
This is the same guy that was also excited to go to Montreal when he was at the draft.
Yeah.
And expected to get traded, and he didn't. Yeah. And then eventually he was traded to the Kings, right? So it's just, yeah. I mean, the truth is the Capitals are in an interesting spot where they are taking bets like this, albeit not this expensive. I'll get away from the contract for a bit. This is a guy who's still obviously really young.
Mm-hmm.
The cap hit is whatever, because for the next 5 years, this team, if they don't take a quick turnaround with the guys they have, because they have some like intriguing prospects, but not top notch. Like, they don't necessarily have a Dustin Wolf in net in the future, right? On defense, like the young defense they have, like Rasmus Sandin, they're taking bets on guys like that. They really are trying to do a retool on the fly. If it doesn't work, this team could be mediocre, but not quite bad enough for like the next 5 years anyway. So, and then at that point, it's a 33-year-old guy that maybe he's learned his lesson and he's a middle six center, and the cap's gone up. That it's like you'll retain a little bit. Like, it's a nothing for Dubois. I think LA, it's good for them to get out of the contract.
Yes,
but and Kuemper seems to be excited to be in a new spot. But he's a guy that's at the same age as Markstrom that lost the starting role to Charlie Lindgren in Washington, and he's at $5.25 million. If he can't figure it out, that's not a contract next year that you really want to buy out with 2 years left at $5 million for a guy that is like a fringe starter. And I'm a huge I've been a Darcy Kuemper fan since like the days in Arizona. And then he won a cup in Colorado, although people didn't think he was really legit there. I mean, it was obviously Colorado that won it.
Yep. But
he has a cup ring. So I think it's fine for both teams, but you really won't know until you see if the defense is there for LA, the goaltending, right? I mean, they also have to figure out who their next center is, because they have Kopitar, who's aging out. They have
yeah.
And then I guess you move Byfield now to center, or Turcotte takes a step. Like, you do need another center. I guess you just have the cap space now, right? But you only free up $3.25 million. So
yeah, it's shorter though. You only have Kuemper for 3 more years instead of Dubois for, I think it was 7. And I think with that too, like Dubois, he's just. I get he was the 3rd overall pick, but what's he done there? Like, he's supposed to be this talented guy, but he doesn't really do anything that well. And every team he's gone to, there's always just lack of effort, or like he just like within a year or two always seems to find himself. The team that now has Dubois wants to get rid of him. What? Like, why are teams still going after him?
Yeah,
I mean,
because he's a 26-year-old center who was drafted high, right?
Exactly. I think with Kuemper too, like it's an expensive deal for sure, but it's not that high of a risk in terms of goalie, because they need a goalie, and if it doesn't work out, man, that sucks. But
you can't get rid of it.
No. I mean, well, the Capitals managed to get rid of it. I'm sure some you'd have to do like
you'd have to take back a Dubois. That's
you'd have to give up like a 1st-round pick or something like that. But Kuemper is I feel like Kemper's more of a goalie that does well depending on what system he's in. And with the Kings there, with Jim Hiller as their coach, more defensive minded overall.
Yeah,
that could be a system that works. I mean, like.
Could
like
Cam Talbot, right? Like,
exactly.
I guess that's right. Who's the better goaltender, Kuemper or Talbot? Is it close? It's probably pretty close. If you think Talbot's better, it's
numbers wise, he definitely was this season.
Yeah, and one guy was in front of Washington, and
exactly who the defense in Washington is not good.
But this year that was kind of their system, right? Like Lindgren had good numbers. Like that's where I think I came to be a bit more like I'm unsure, is the fact that the Capitals, the reason they made the playoffs wasn't because like their highest scorers were Strome and Ovechkin, and they weren't point per game. This team made the playoffs with a horrible goal differential, but essentially being a defensive team, right? All the games they won this year were 1-goal games.
It's true. That's
So-
very true.
But I understand what you're saying. Like LA trap team should be a good fit.
It definitely feels like a situation where Kuemper could very well turn around. Because to be fair, I think in his first year in Washington, he was fine. Was he not? Like he was.
Yeah,
Like
fine.
he wasn't.
Fine.
He wasn't good.
I think people
But he
knew
was,
the
he was
contract.
serviceable.
Yeah, I think the people knew the contract was going to be expensive, and then year 2 of 5.
Yeah.
It was a 5-year deal. He's already been rough, right? So I think that's where it's kind of dicey, right? Is he now a 1B instead of a 1A?
Yeah.
But you got 1 year to figure it out, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I wouldn't be shocked to see him turn around and have like a good season with LA.
I just wonder if like a long-term Dubois buyout with him being the 1/3 of the buyout would have been better than taking on the Kuemper deal. But
Maybe. I mean, it's certainly shorter, so like that does help.
Yeah.
But we'll know. So we'll have to wait and see how it works out there. I mean, Dubois in Washington with Imperial probably isn't going to work out because Dubois in LA and Winnipeg and Columbus haven't really worked out. So
Winnipeg, his last season, I should go up and bring his stats, but I like his numbers.
it was fine.
He had points. Like he had like
fine.
63 points. I know it's not $8.5 million, but like, you know, he's gonna get like how many points do you think he's gonna get in Washington next year? Like 40?
Yeah, 40.
Because that's what he had was 40 in LA.
Like I'd buy 40-ish.
But that was him on the third line and occasionally being fourth line on nights, benched. Are the Capitals gonna bench Pierre-Luc Dubois?
I mean, if it might be for like personality reasons, they might do it.
Did they do it with Mantha this year?
I don't know.
And Mantha was kind of a similar profile, like nowhere near the same contract, but a guy that's like has all this talent, big size, has had good seasons in the past, like numbers wise, like intriguing seasons where, can this guy get better? And then there's questions of effort, right? So I don't know. It's just interesting, but it's a gigantic risk. But Washington, I don't expect to contend for so many years. So I guess the truth is that's where you want to sweeten her, right? But they get out of the Kuemper deal, and I don't know. I think it's just overblown for a team that's not going anywhere. Anyways,
You ready? You ready for it? You ready to jump to the UFAs?
No. We still have the Ullmark.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's one more deal that I'd like to talk about. At least one more deal.
Yeah, let's get
Linus.
Ullmark.
Yeah.
What do you think of that, Tyler? Linus Ullmark to the Ottawa Senators. 1 year left on his deal. They have not figured out an extension. This is a guy that won the Vezina the year before last year, and then Swayman became the starter next year. So they had a Vezina as goalie as their backup, and then they trade him to Ottawa. He's got 1 year left now, and Ottawa gets out of the Korpisalo contract. He was a brutal signing for them, and they get rid of him. And Mark Kastelic is a nothing burger, 25-year-old bottom six guy who you'll probably see being a pain in the ass against Toronto next year, and a first-round pick.
I mean, don't you think they could have maybe got more, or do you think just with the season starting and he's not traded and then you don't disrupt the room and stuff like that? I mean, so I guess this is like a must-do in the off-season move, but I don't know. There's like, to me, like, I feel like the first-round pick is like the big thing in that trade. Is that not like the highest value, and it's not going to be a high pick because it's Boston and they're awesome, right? Especially in the regular season.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think this is kind of Boston picking one of the two, and just not allowing there to be a goalie controversy in Boston, because this would, like, 3 years in a row, it's almost like third time is like too sweet to be true, and these guys can only hug it out so much, and at one point one of them's going to have to get super paid,
which would be Swayman.
Yeah, so there you go.
And then it'll be Ullmark next year as a UFA, right?
Yeah.
So you can't have.
My goodness, who's going to pick him up? He's going to test the waters with Ottawa and see probably he could have the most shots against next year of any.
Yeah, he could. If they don't prove that deep.
So it's kind of like a good situation for him if he likes making money because he already has a Stanley Cup, right?
No.
Well, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Sorry. I got ahead of myself. But he does, like you said, he's got a Vezina, so personal accolades, whatever. But no, this guy could be like the number one thing we're talking about this time next year, with no contract and being a true UFA. Yeah, I mean, this is probably his agent being like, "Hey, man, like this is what the pros do.
If you want to get paid,
and trade me, and so."
Yeah,
I don't mind
apparently
I don't even think, like, kind of, to me, it's like, who cares? It's just Ullmark has gone to the Sens, and they're not contending to win the Stanley Cup.
But they want to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's why they picked this guy up.
Yeah. Are they want to, though?
Like
they got rid of, like, they dumped off Tarasenko. Not like he's like
he was
not like he's an elite player, right?
He's not anymore, right?
No,
he was a pending UFA, right? And they let go of him because they were going to miss the playoffs.
It was a straight business move, and it was good. They probably didn't even get much for him.
They did.
No clue what
they got like a second and a third.
I don't know what this means. This is kind of maybe like I don't know. Actually, it's them giving up a first-round pick a
late first. Like, this is a pick that's happening this
first back.
I know.
Exactly.
First,
fifth this year.
Yeah.
So late first for Ullmark, who they expect to be a vast improvement over Korpisalo.
Definitely is. Ottawa hasn't had a good goalie in forever.
Well, I think with this, though, I think just the return Boston got for Ullmark it isn't great. Like, honestly, because
no, it's not.
Like, if it was like just the first round pick, it's not good either. But you look at that and you go, oh, Boston is trading for the Korpisalo contract. Oh, and they got a first-round pick with it? Okay, because they're taking on the Korpisalo contract. And then it's like, oh, what are they giving back? Future considerations? Oh, no, Linus Ullmark.
Yeah.
Like, and they got Mark Kastelik, who?
Yeah, bottom six guy.
Yeah, like, not much there. And so, like, it's not a huge cap hit. It's Ottawa's retaining $1 million on it, so Boston's paying him $3 million, but he's paying him $3 million for 4 more seasons.
I'm not gonna lie, I think that that matters. Like, the $4 million is starter money, $3 million is like really expensive backup.
Yeah,
but like, if you look, like, I have a list of the goalies. I mean, you can look at them if you want, Josh. But like, the goalies that are there, like, who is Boston gonna pick up as a backup? Like, are you saying that, like,
someone's in the system, someone's coming up?
Well, yeah, but you sign a veteran guy, right? So do you sign a veteran guy like a Martin Jones level, Scott Wedgwood, Lankin, and Brassard for $1 million or $2 million? Korpisalo, like, I understand that he was an awful contract at $3 million in front of a team. Like, I'm not so sure Ullmark does well unless they are able to fix the defense.
That's fair.
And Ottawa needs to do that. They're going to try to, but everyone's trying to improve their defense, right? So it depends on who they get in front. Boston as a team, I think Korpisalo's numbers are going to be in the 900. Like, if it's like 908, 910,
you're fine with that.
Yeah, and I think he can play 30 games. I think he can get you, half of those are wins, 20 wins. Like, I think he can do that. He's a fine goalie, and I understand he's not $3 million's expensive, but like, Jake Allen's making that. He's making like 2.5, and he's also a backup. Like, some backups are getting huge money, so I understand that it looks really underwhelming. To me, I wonder, as like, without an extension, because Ullmark doesn't have an extension. Yeah. What team was either going to give Ullmark the 8? Let's say he wants 7 years at $8 million because he won a Vezina. If he thinks he's in that category, are you paying a 25th overall pick? If you're New Jersey, are you paying a 25th or like a late first for a guy for 1 year of a guy, or him with an extension for 7 years? Because Ullmark's like 30 now. Mm-hmm. Do you believe in Ullmark as an $8 million goalie as a starter? Because once you lock into him, you can't get out of that.
Yeah.
You ain't trade. How many goalies at $8 million get traded? And it's an
what's Markstrom making?
6, but we talked about it there. Flames were retaining 31% on it, so
he's at
double. You're paying him
31%. That's so random.
31.3. But Devils are paying him $4.125.
And Ullmark's making $5 now, and it's going to want, like, let's say 6-7 minimum on his next deal. So that's the only thing is, like, I get that it looks horrible for, like, people think it looks horrible because of the Corp Sal thing. He's going to Boston, and he's going to be nowhere near as bad. You know what? This could be one of our shorts that we have in a year from now. I just don't think he's going to be as bad as he was in Ottawa. He is a proper defense, and he might be an overpaid backup, but it's fine. They get a first-round pick. I don't know if the market was huge for Ullmark because teams are going, we don't want to extend him. We want to see how he does, and a first-round pick is just rich.
Yeah,
it's like that's a cap dump to get rid of, or it's a guy you can get, like, and people can say, like, oh, this draft is only good for, like, the first 10, 15 picks. It's still a first-round pick. Teams would love to have first. Like, by the time they get to the draft, teams have guys they like around 30 on their list, and they're going, oh, we could certainly like a pick. Oh, no team wants to trade their pick unless we trade them a Vezina goalie, right, with 1 year left, or a penny UFA goalie. Like, it's, I don't know. So all I'm going to say is I think it's an overreaction. It's fine value. I get it's not great, but it's fine value. I'm more intrigued by the fact that Jake Wallman went for nothing, and they had to give up a second to get rid of that contract.
Good deal for San Jose.
It is. So I wonder, like, with that's another deal where no, Detroit isn't getting a first round pick for future considerations, but is there another deal in the works? Are they, like, they're obviously clearing up cap for something big.
Yeah,
that's why I wore this Detroit, by the way. The Detroit jersey was because if they're getting trading a second round pick to get rid of Jake Wallman, who you've never heard of this guy, but he was probably their second or third best defenseman this year at $3.4 million. They're up to something big. Like, they're going to be going big name hunting. Maybe Gensel, maybe one of the defensemen. Like, maybe they're looking to improve to Shea or something, but maybe Stammer. Who knows?
Wallman sounds like he sucks.
He's a wall, man.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you?
Indeed.
I think so.
Are you ready for it?
No, I think.
Wait, what's that?
We're about an hour into recording now, roughly.
How far are we into it? What do you got there?
Hour 22.
Hour 22.
Yeah.